Bob Condotta, Seattle Times.
Hey Pete, how you doing? We didn't see Jamal Adams out there. Obviously, what's his situation? Is any of this related to his contract, or is this solely sort of a personal thing? Or
Yeah, he's got a family thing that he's working on that he needed to be there.
also, there was a report that Duane Brown wants a new contract. Is there any validity to that? And is that any reason why he wasn't, I guess, on the field today at all? Or
we're helping Duane get through a great offseason. He's doing terrific right now. We're just going to keep cruising on through it and make sure that he's at his very best. We're always talking about the business stuff, so that's always something that's topical. But because he is in his last year coming up, but everything's going great, and he's had a great offseason so far. It's better than it was last year. He's ahead of schedule, so he's in good shape.
Michael Sean.
Hey, Pete, are these excused absences for Chris Carson and Aldon Smith?
Yep, Chris is working on bringing a baby into the world, and so he has to be there. And yes, our guys are excused.
And why didn't Travis practice today? Rashad, actually, let's do all three: Travis, Rashad, and D. Eskridge.
For all different reasons. Trav's still working on a calf, bringing that back, taking our time to make sure we get it back. It's bothering him a little bit in the off season. Rashad is working out, doing a ton of stuff, but not quite ready to be out to where he's reacting yet. He had a little work done, and so not quite ready yet. We should be fine for camp. Both those guys should be fine for camp, and Esker's got a big toe issue that's bothering him, and so we're just making sure that he doesn't overdo it early. We miss him out here. It's unfortunate he's not here. He needs this work with our guys, but we got to do the right thing and take care of him right now.
You say Rashad had work done on what?
On his knee. He had a little something cleaned up.
Same one as the ACL?
Corbin.
Yes. Marquise Blair's now returned to the field. How has he looked so far to you the last couple of weeks, and how important is his return to this defense playing to its potential this year?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a great addition. Just everything that we've seen from Keese has just been – he's tough, he's smart, he's fast, he's flexible, and that he can do a lot of things. We're really excited to have him back out. He's I don't think he's 100% yet, just in terms of the whole comeback, but he's plenty good enough to be practicing and working, and he should really be able to make a difference. So what we saw of him from last year's camp, we were really fired up about his addition. He was going to play a ton, and he's stronger now than he was a year ago at this time, more physically fit in general. Really a high bar that we're shooting for with him, and really expecting him to be a big factor.
Brady.
Hey Pete, with Jamal, is there anything you can tell us about the state of the contract talks with Jamal?
Not really. It's been ongoing and it's been amicable throughout. We recognize that he's a fantastic football player, and we're in the midst of it's a big contract process. But I know he knows he's been treated with a lot of respect, and he's been very respectful towards the club as well. They've been good talks, and just hasn't been able to get settled at this point. But it's coming. We expect him for camp, and everything should be fine.
Okay. And then we know he had the couple surgeries, shoulder and fingers. If he were here, would he even be able to practice right now?
I don't think he'd be working out here right now. Fingers are on the mend. It takes a long time for those to be right, and we'd be very careful there. And then his shoulder, so we would be very careful with him at this time. So he would be involved, but he'd be in the walkthrough kind of stuff, but he couldn't get the full speed work yet.
Okay, thanks.
John Boyle.
Yeah, Pete.
Will Dissly the last 2 years he wouldn't have been out here. He'd be rehabbing big injuries.
Yeah.
What have you noticed in him being healthy and having a full off season?
He's stronger. He's quicker. the difference between that is just night and day. That, you know, from the years past, where he was just barely getting back, just barely getting into camp, ready for the camp mode. He is in full swing right now and looks great, man. I know he's really upbeat, really excited about that because he feels so much better than he did in the last couple of years. I mean, really, he's been in rehab for over 2 years. What's up?
Just letting everybody know we're still friends, you know.
Hey.
Just messing
there you
with
go. Get out of here. You had your press conference.
Joe Fan.
Just to clarify, you said that you expect the deal to be done with Jamal Adams before camp.
Say that again. Please.
That's your expectation, is that the deal will be done with Jamal before camp.
I don't know that, but I know that we're counting on him being back at camp, and he wants to be at camp too, and so we're going to do everything to make that happen.
Rashad, are you concerned at this point that maybe this is a pivotal year for him to kind of prove it and show you guys that he's capable of being part of your program?
Every year is important, and this one is for him for sure. As much time as he missed last year, sometimes he had a serious knee injury. It just takes a whole nother year to get back, and so just the cleanup stuff and what he's ready to take on right now. He can run full speed. We just want to make sure that his strength is balanced out in his quads, and so there's no reason for us to take a chance right now where he gets in a bad situation. So his attitude's great, his mentality's great, and yeah, it is for every guy. Every year is ridiculously important to us and of value and all of that, and certainly it is for Rashad.
Greg Bell.
Hello, sir. Most people, and maybe even the team, thought this might be Duane Brown's last contract. 14 years, gets 36 this summer. So he's obviously given you indications he wants to stay here and play beyond 2021. And how is this a departure? Is this something that just came up?
No. He's a remarkable player and a remarkable athlete, and takes great care of himself and has given himself to have an extended career beyond where most guys can make it. And we love him. He's a big part of what we're doing, and we're counting on him being with us. We'll look down the road together, and we'll see what's the right thing to do coming up. He's just been a great part of our program, and his leadership, his toughness, what he stands for as a man. He's just a remarkable guy. So we would love for him to be with us. If he wants to keep playing, we want him to keep playing.
And on the vaccines, can you tell us what it's like? Is life still inside the building pandemic, or? And then what do you expect during training camp is for those who haven't been vaccinated? Did they go 2020 mode, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, well, okay, here's what I can tell you. We're kind of right in the pack of the teams. We're a couple numbers away from being in the top echelon of having as many guys as anybody in the league. So we're in pretty good shape right now. There's a couple crucial weeks coming up. The next 2 weeks, I think it's 2 weeks from Friday. 2 weeks from Friday, I believe it is, will be kind of the time to hit if you're going to be a two-shot routine guy, then you got to start the process if you're going to make it by camp. And our guys are aware of that. There are a lot of guys that haven't been vaccinated that just want to wait as long as they can to get all the information that they can, which they deserve to do. It does feel it feels much more open now than it did last year. We feel the guys are just more comfortable with so many guys being vaccinated and all the staff being vaccinated and all of that. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's a good feeling. We're just trying to pull our guys along with us, as many as we can, to make it as safe as possible. And the situation that guys face is that if a guy who is not vaccinated gets exposed to somebody, and whether they get it or not, but if they get exposed, they're going to get quarantined. And so, whereas a guy who is vaccinated that gets exposed is not. So an unvaccinated player could lose playtime and could lose access to the team, and so that's an issue that they have to deal with as they make their final choices here on how they handle it. There'll be some restrictions there'll be few restrictions for the guys that are vaccinated when we travel, meeting people on the road, freedom here around the building too, the access to the minimal amount of testing that you have to do and all of that. So there's reasons going that are real positive. If it's a good feeling for the guys that are vaccinated, they know that they're just about feeling like it's normal. And but we still have some aspects of where we have to stay apart and we got to wear masks and things like that, which everybody seems to be really in tune with. It's not a problem. So I'm just hoping that we can get the majority of our guys done just so that they'll be safe. But it's an individual choice that people have to make.
Art?
Anything else about that?
Pete, following up on the vaccine thing, it's been out there now for several months. Are you surprised that there are still this much resistance in the NFL generally, and with your club in particular, to either the information or the willingness to participate in the vaccination?
No, I don't know how accurate this would be, but I think we're probably pretty close to what the national numbers are. I think we're a microcosm of a group of people that, it isn't 100%, sales pitch that's going on here. That everybody's in on it. Not everybody is, and in particular parts of the country, it's much different than others. Our area in particularly Seattle is doing an incredible job of complying with the issues right now and all that. So we're in a good environment here that surrounds us. But it's going to work its way out. I do believe we have a number of our leaders, that have made the decision to get vaccinated and all. I think that's important for the guys that are a little bit on the fence and still waiting for to feel good about it. We'll see what happens, but it's going to work itself out.
Tim?
Pete, because of his surgeries in the offseason, what has Jamal been able to do in terms of what a normal offseason work would be for him? And then with that, do you anticipate that should he show up for training camp on time, that he'll be able to go at the start of training camp?
Let me step back from that for a second and come back to Jamal. I've been thrilled at the condition level that our guys have shown up with. It's just the coach's concern that you guys, maybe they're not getting the good work, maybe they're not getting as much as they need, they're not getting pushed as much as you would like them to. If we could be there to make sure that happened, we would prefer that. Our guys showed up in incredible shape. I mean, they across the board, every position. We got one guy that's a little bit heavy, but he's working his tail off. You can't tell. It has nothing to do with his conditioning level. I mean, it's a fantastic statement that our guys have made, that they have been committed. And I give credit to the leadership of this team that set the message out. Look, if this is the deal. We're gonna stay away from some of the off-season program. Make sure that you're right and you're ready. And that message has been heard and responded to. So in that regard, I'm not worried at all about the 6 weeks coming up. I have been in the past, after all of our work, and then they break away. But I've seen the work our guys are willing to do when they have been basically on their own or in their small groups. So that's the first message that comes across. Don't worry about our guys. Our guys are ready to roll. They look great out here. And I'll say that they beat my expectations. They because it's across the board, it's 100%. As far as Jamal is concerned, he is working really hard. He's in terrific condition. He should be ready to rock and roll at camp time. There's the intricacy of your fingers. That's something we got to make sure that he gets that right. And that there's a lot going on there. But his shoulder should be in great shape. So I'm not concerned at all that he won't be ready.
Did the fingers end up being more troubling, surgery to have to get through than the shoulder?
I don't know if I can answer accurately on that, but just having work done in my own history, the fingers they're so delicate when in trying to get everything lined up and get it all back and strong and get the stiffness out and all that. It's a process, and so he's doing a marvelous job, and we're not worried about it at all. It just takes some time to get it right, and it's so easy to screw that up, and ball boinks off your hand, or you jam it into a shoulder or something like that. We just got to be really careful. So he's not gonna get himself hurt in this camp, that's for sure.
Curtis?
Yeah, Pete, what stood out to you about the rookies in the month that you've had them here? Is there anything that kind of you've learned about a guy in particular, something that's made an impression on you?
Well, first off, the focus of work that these guys have received. I mean, if you try to, you can't. There's not even any comparison to where our rookie class was last year. They had none. Our guys, because of the numbers that were available to us, these guys got quality work, and they're up with our football. They're way beyond where they've ever been before. They've had just so many turns, and they've been great at taking advantage of the opportunity. So right now that we're giving more work to the older guys, and then the additional work we give to the young guys afterwards is to keep them fresh with their stuff. But they've made great progress, and so this is by far the best prepared rookie group we've had, because they've just had more attention and focus, and they've been the whole deal for a good part of this offseason. So credit to them, and it'll give them a great chance in terms of competing. In terms of special guys, I've been really impressed with Stone Forsyth, his work that he's done to get caught up and to bring it. He had a great experience in college, played 3 years at Florida in a great level of competition, and has been a starting left tackle against a lot of really good players, and it shows. And his focus, attention to detail is on it. The early work that we saw with Dwayne Eskridge before his toe got banged up, it really kind of flared up. He looks totally legit to be a competitive aspect of this team. I don't have any question. His strength in his hands, his catching range, his explosiveness is really fast. And he had no trouble with any of the transitional stuff. They did not run as sophisticated a passing game as we have here, and so we didn't see stuff. But it wasn't because he couldn't run them. They just didn't ask their guys to run the stuff. He can do everything. So I'm really excited to see him go. His mentality has been strong. So that's a real positive. And then really Trey has done a nice job too. Picked things up, looks the part. Has been real serious about the competitive part of every aspect of it. Johnny Radigan's done a nice job too. Kid came from Army. He's done a nice job calling the shots for the young guys and as a Mike linebacker, and has been impressive so far in his ability to handle stuff. He's obviously got great leadership qualities about him, and really smart kid. So it's a really good group. I mean, those are some of the guys.
Just real quick, what stood out to you about Robert Kimdiche since you've got him in here as he's trying to get back into this?
He's got a really good spirit about him. He's upbeat, active. He's explosive and has really good quickness. He's over 300 pounds. And he moves really well. He's going to be a real competitive part of this group, and he's a little different than some of the other guys. And so we see some flexibility in where we can play him and move him around. And I'm hoping for his sake, because he's been out of football for a bit. I'm hoping for his sake that everything just keeps moving along, because he is applying himself. His mentality is like has a second chance on his football life, and he knows that, which is really important, and he's trying to seize every opportunity, and he's been a real not a surprise as much as just we're really happy to have him as part of this thing. We think he's going to be a factor.
Last question, Joe Fan.
You guys went out and got Gerald this offseason. Obviously, Will's been here a long time. Both those guys healthy, and you expect to be a part in the mix. But how does Colby Parkinson fit into this? How does he look this year compared to last? Because we just never got to see a whole lot of him last year.
Yeah, Joe, this is a really strong group for us. Will being healthy now, now we know he's going to have a great shot at having a hell of a camp and be able to do his stuff. Will can do everything. He can catch the football. He can run with it after, and he's our best online blocker. So he kind of sets it. That's kind of the stability of the position. Gerald brings some factors that we have not had here before, and his route running ability, his speed, his if you watch his stuff, his run after catch is excellent. He's a very, very aggressive runner with the football, which is really exciting. Catching and running, and he can get the ball in his hands and he'll make things happen. And he's been a really active, willing blocker in our scheme, as we've seen in the Rams program. So he's just an incredibly exciting addition. Because of the flexibility, you can line him up out of the backfield. He can be in the slot. He can be outside. All of that stuff. He's got wide receiver ability as a tight end. So that's a real positive for us, and I'm really pumped about that. He knows everything. He knows the offense too. So he's just been really pleasantly, just a great addition. Colby is going to be a factor. There's nothing to keep him from being a factor. He's at 6'7", he's got a target that's just obviously unique. But he's got great hands. He's a natural catcher. His catching range is normal as it can be. He can use it all. Gets off the ground well too when he has to. He's a really bright player. He's picked stuff up. He is, because of the time he missed on the field with us, he really dove into the strength program, and he just pumped up, and he's better now than he was at the end when he became active with us at the end of the year. So those three guys are really, really exciting for us. There's flexibility in the guys. They can all run and catch with the football. I'm really pumped about that position, and I know Russell's jacked about it. He's got different types of targets, and we like to do stuff with the guys that they do that's unique to them, and that's what we're working out right now with them. We're developing that.
Thank you, everyone. Uncle Will's next.